I think the outpatient lab was very critical, is very critical in terms of the success of trying to develop pilots and prototypes. It's nice to think big pictures and draw pictures, but there are a lot of nuances that you have to go through, and it doesn't actually happen until it happens, and nobody sort of sees it until it happens. This Spark corridor, this outpatient laboratory, has been essential in bringing real-life patients, bringing real-life staff into an environment that has some flexibility to adapt and change. I've been practicing here now full-time for about almost 2 years, and my practice isn't the same. They always want to try something new. They want to try a different aspect in terms of flow. Patients are always ready to do this. They like the fact that this is a research and an educational endeavor, and because they like it, I like it.
The 9 specialty practices that we have, of those 32 physicians in those practices, we have in our lab environment here, we have 3 physicians from general internal medicine that see their regular panel of patients. So they're located here physically in the laboratory space. The other physicians that make up the rest of that group work in their home locations. And so we have connections to them, but they actually physically are located in their own space. But here in the lab, we have regular panel of patients, so we have real live patients coming through, physicians that are seeing those patients. But as things come up, we then can tap into those physicians and their panel of patients to test different things out. Each of our exam rooms are outfitted with special cameras, and so we can do observations without actually physically being in the room, which we have done. And then we have an observation room where the observer sits outside of the room to do the observations. And of course, we consent patients when we go through processes like that. So we have that technology that is there to help us with the observational research that we do from time to time. Other things that we have done as part of the experiment with the outpatient lab is using other sorts of technology that helps physicians make connections with each other. We're using things like Microsoft Communicator, which is a software that's loaded onto their electronic device, cameras that are on their computers, so if they want to do interactions with a patient sitting in their home, we can do that. We have the capability to do those sorts of things. It's really interesting when we see patients actually walk into the corridor to be roomed down in these exam rooms here. They're walking in and they're looking around and they're looking at this space looks so different from any other Mayo Clinic space that they walk into. And there's just this natural curiosity. What do you do here? What's going on? And I think when we have asked patients to participate with us, we typically find that it is not difficult at all. There's really a willingness to participate in some of the project work that we do.
I think the first project that we really tackled was actually a big project, which was patient flow issues. How do you get a patient, once they're here, through a complex system? How do you collect data? How do you document data? How do you sort of synthesize that data so that it's done in an efficient manner, in a timely manner, in a way that the patient actually understands it? Everything is meant to be patient-centered, and so how can the patient feel comfortable in that flow, and how can you do that in an effective way? It was a complicated process. There are a lot of things that we've done over time that are fairly standard, and we've always done it. The control is the way it is now, and so we've got a very large practice. When they've measured things such as timing and flows, the usual care group, at least for general medicine, is the other side of the practice. We have 86 general internists in our group, and so we actually have a large base at which to measure how things typically run. This corridor, the Spark corridor, Spark laboratory, and this part of the practice, there's about 5 or 6 physicians that have been really into this and really open to these changes. We're sort of the core on this side. There are other physician groups, but we're compared to usual care. And usual care here is still very good. It's coming from a different institution, you appreciate a lot of the concepts and the flows and the efficiencies that are here. But I'm also impressed that there's always this room for improvement.